Hello everyone, Volfey here, and I'm at the Halls of Anguish, where we find Bloodboil. Not too far from Russ either. Since we are getting closer to the release of Phase 3 on live servers, I figured to try and compact the guide before you actually get to the boss, so you can prepare for smooth progression. Enough chit chat, to the Bloodboil. Boss is averaging 4.5 to 4.8k melee attacks, a sum of two swings, one right after the other, similar to offhand and main hand attack, but just calculated as 4.5k per swing. First ability the boss uses is Acidic Wound, stackable debuff that deals nature damage and decreases armor, lasts for 60 seconds. Arsing Smash, cleave attack that deals higher damage than melee attack and gives +1 to Acidic Wound stacks. It can be dodged though. On top of that leaves a healing debuff that lasts for a few seconds, so healers beware. Eject deals damage and knocks back a tank. Judging by the PTR footage on YouTube, it hits for about 1000, but reduces the threat of the affected tank by a whole 20,000. Bewildering Strike deals set amount of damage and confuses a tank for 6 seconds, ignoring him and going to the second person on the threat list. When the debuff has worn off, threat is recalculated, so it either goes back to the main tank or continues hitting an off tank since he over-threated the main tank. Bloodboil ability targets 5 furthest players from the boss and debuffs them with 600 physical damage every second for 24 seconds. It's stackable, but anything over 2 stacks will take toll on a healers. We will talk about handling Bloodboils in a minute. Fell Rage is casted on a random player every 60 seconds and lasts for about 30 seconds. It has few effects. Target is enlarged, deals more damage and healing, has more HP and armor, and attacks a bit faster. Boss is also dealing more damage and ignoring everyone else in the raid and their threat. During these 30 seconds the boss is not casting Eject, Bloodboil or Bewildering Strike, but will cleave. It's important to say that when the Fell Rage target is chosen, boss will cast a Gazer on it and splash everyone around the target, so keep spread when raid leader calls for it. Handling Fell Rage means spreading 5 seconds before it. Heal the Fell Rage target a lot, but don't let Bloodboil and Acidic Wounds kill DPSers and tanks. If you are affected by it, you will do a ton of damage, but you have to use any damage reduction ability you have, or heal yourself if you can. Aspect of Banana, Evasion, Dead Coil, Siphon Life, Drain Life, Bark Skin, Bear Form, Shamanistic Rage, Defensive Stance, Unequipped Shield, etc. Whatever you have, just like for Rust tanking. Get to the very edge of the raid so nobody gets cleaved, and for everyone else, WoW rule number 4, don't walk in front of the boss unless you're tanking or soaking. What I was most surprised with the PTR is that bopping the Fell Rage target won't deter the boss from attacking it. Yep. In case Fell Rage target dies, the boss will recalculate the threat table and go to the highest aggro player. So as a tank, be in boss melee range just in case and then kite it back to tanking position, with last stand, shield wall or something similar. Handling the Bloodboil. Before pulling the boss, set 3 groups of soakers. It will consist of healers and melee range DPSers. Group 1 soaks the first Bloodboil, moves forward so group 2 can go backwards and be furthest away from boss for their Bloodboil. Then group 3 goes and get theirs. By the time of the next Bloodboil, group's 1 debuff will expire and they will go for a new one. Repeat twice in between Fell Rage phases. Remember that after Fell Rage is done, group 1 should start in the water first, then 2 and then 3. Rinse and repeat. Healing is best done by COH Priest, there is no easier way. Since the boss is not tauntable, everyone should stay under 2 or 3 tanks on the threat table. Have warrior main tank and feral off tank, and a paladin there to do his threat just in case. Holy paladin should spam the main tank, resto druid should hot both tanks or 3 if paladins taking damage, and shamans should chain heal through all of them. When the main tank is tanking, other tanks should stay outside of the cleave to evade acidic wounds as much as possible. Once an eject or bewildering strike happens, off tank must take the main tank spot in order not to allow the boss cleaving the melees. Enrage timer is 10 minutes long, but as long as everyone is alive, it's doable without DPS race. Bloodlust and cooldowns are best to be popped on first Fell Rage since everyone has insignificance debuff. Priorities of this fight are keeping tanks alive, keeping Bloodboil's group alive, not over-aggroing tanks, keep Fell Rage targets alive, and then after all that DPS down the boss. Many will wipe few times until group swapping are coordinated and everyone is healed enough to survive. For that reason, I give this boss 4 out of 5 on difficulty rating. Gear alone won't carry you here. I already talked about shared trash mobs in the Ross guide video, so here I'll mention the rest of non-shared trash mobs, which are quite easy to deal with if you got 3 tanks. Bonjour Combatant. Big mob, hits decently hard, enrages near death, nothing special, fights the brawler and resets HP at about 40% before pull. Bonjour Brawler is a big mob as well, but only has Frenzy and Enrage. Frenzy can be tranquilized and shot away. If you don't have AoE ability, focus it down. Bonjour Spectators, small mobs tanked by Protodon, AoE them down fast, mainly stay away since they cleave. Apart from that, they like to charge random players and stack healing debuff on tank, but they die fast enough for it to be a problem. With the Bloodboil, we are done with the bottom floor of Black Temple. Next time we are gonna climb to upper levels and deal with way harder bosses. Stay tuned. Thank you for checking out Bloodboil. Stay safe and have fun playing the game. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.